Hello everyone, this is Ashish and welcome back to Momentum Podcast. This is the 14th episode and today we are having a very special guest. It is Avinash Chandra, who is a current ISRO scientist, but more importantly, he has done his BTech in Aerospace Engineering from IIST. He has been a topper over there, and the topper from IIST goes to Caltech for 1 year course, and he's going to explain all about it and is going to definitely inspire a lot of you guys. Hello Avinash, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Ashish. Thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast today. I'm so delighted to be here today and to be sharing my experience of graduating from the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, IIST Trivandrum, and also recently from California Institute of Technology. And currently, I'm an aerospace engineer at the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. I'm very glad to be here. And I hope that my experiences would be of some help to the students who are aspiring to work in this area.
Yeah, you hope. I'm pretty sure that it is going to help a lot of them. Avinash, more than your qualifications, more than your academics, I really admire your hardworking capability. So that is something that I noticed. I actually met Avinash during the ISRO induction training program. We were part of IITP 32. So Avinash basically graduated in 2017, right?
Correct, Ashish.
Yeah, but because he went to California for 1 year for his course, so his IITP was delayed a little bit. And I am a graduate of 2016, but joined ISRO in 2018. So somehow our IITPs matched. And there only I talked to him. It is very safe to say that you were the most hardworking person during those 2 years of your IITP, our IITP training. And it is safe to say because you ended up being a topper over there as well. And all of us were in shock of the amount of concentration that you showed in every class. Obviously, a lot of people were sometimes a little frustrated with the number of questions that you asked, but I always admired that quality of you, a person who does not care what others think, but is ready to clear every question that is in his head, right? So I want to ask you, Avinash, from the beginning. The first question is, what drives you? What drove you to become someone who is studying in IIST, that is good in itself, but becoming a topper in IIST? And even after when you're placed, you're working, you're having a good income, you're having a good placement, then also you work the hardest. What drives you?
Ashish, first of all, thank you for the kind words. And it was a very enriching experience at our training program at ISRO. And I got to meet so many talented people. I was so happy to meet you and be friend with you. So yes, Ashish, this quality of being inquisitive and asking questions that I think that I developed in particular while being at IIST.
Okay.
Of course, my parents, my siblings had a lot of impact, had a lot of role in shaping my character this way, because they always encouraged me to know more, to know everything in deep, in more detail, at a more fundamental level. And they gave me opportunities so that I could develop these qualities. And at IIST, the teachers at IIST as well as Caltech, everyone encouraged asking questions and having discussions in the classroom. I remember we had a very lively classroom where once some student asked some question, then everyone started asking so much. And that was very, very good because all your doubts got clarified so well. So yes, I think that is one quality that I would like to keep nurturing at whatever position I be.
Yeah, okay. You are asking question. You explained it perfectly. But why do you work hard? What are your goals? What do you want to achieve?
Yes, Ashish. So we have a limited life, and it would be really satisfying to do something to the fullest.
Yes.
To have if you're an academician or an engineer or in any profession, to know that profession in the greatest detail and understanding, and that you are having that opportunity of being in that position of learning. So I think that is an opportunity that I think we should not miss.
Yeah.
So that is probably what encourages us to work hard and keep ourselves motivated.
Yeah, you cherish the opportunities. You're grateful that you are given that opportunity, so you make the best out of it, right?
Right, Ashish.
Okay, let us go a little bit way behind, something that I've also not talked to you ever before. What was your childhood, right? Like, where did you grow up? I know that you belong to Bihar, if I'm not wrong, Sitapur district, right? Sitamani district. Okay, so you belong to that. So talk a little bit about, in short, where your school life was, how you got into college and all.
So Ashish, I belong to Sitamadi, and Sitamadi is very famous from the Indian mythological viewpoint.
Yeah.
Because goddess Sita had come out of a place in Sitamadi.
Okay.
And now we have the famous Janki Mandir
Okay.
in Sitamadi. So I was born in Thane, not actually Thane, Bombay.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Because my father works in the Indian Air Force, so he gets transferred every 5 years. So I had opportunity of living in many places. My schooling prominently happened in Chandigarh, and then from the 4th standard onward, I did my schooling in Chennai, in a place called Tambram.
Okay.
And I was very fortunate to be in very good schools and to be with people from so many different states. So that was a very good opportunity that I grew up with.
So you did your 12th and 10th from Tambram, Chennai only?
Yes, Ashish.
Was it a CBSE board?
Yes.
What was your percentage in 10th and 12th?
Okay, in 10th standard, we no longer had percentage. We had...
okay, yeah. You are 2013 12th pass out, right? Yeah, you are 1 year younger than me.
Correct.
I think
Yes.
I was the last batch who had percentage in 10th. Okay,
Correct.
so let's forget about 10th. What was the 12th?
12th, my total percentage was 97.8%, or in marks it was 489 out of 500.
Were you a topper over there as well?
I had topped my school and probably the cluster.
So at that year also, IIST was through IIT JEE, right?
Yeah, so during my time, the admission criterion for getting into IIST was that you had to qualify JEE Advanced, and then your ranking would be based on JEE Mains.
Okay. All right. So basically, you have to qualify the complete JEE examination, right?
Yes.
So how did you balance? Like in 2013, you got a percentage of 97% in boards, and then you also qualified this examination. How did you take some coaching or something like that?
Yes, Ashish. At the end of my 10th standard, our family felt that it would be very helpful to have coaching classes for these engineering entrance examinations. So this is because the syllabi for these entrance examinations are often more vast compared to these curricula that we have in schools, and also that the resources and guidance in school available in this regard is sometimes limited. So from my 11th standard, I started attending weekend coaching classes, and later on it became on alternate weekdays too. So I had to go to my coaching classes about 30 kilometers away from my home after my school, and it used to get late at night when I used to get back home. But it was very useful. First, because I got to meet a lot of other students from many different types of schools. Second, the coaching there was very helpful in helping me understand various concepts in more detail, and that helped me build my fundamentals. And that said, I gave adequate attention to coaching as well as schooling. And my parents, my teachers, my siblings, everyone was so supportive to me. And that is why I could manage to do well with both my school or board examinations as well as the entrance examinations for engineering.
Okay, Avinash, actually here we have a quite big audience. It is becoming bigger these days of people who are in 11th and 12th. I don't know why, but I'm getting subscribers and they ask all the time that how to crack IIT JEE examination, how should be the preparation strategy. And I say that I cannot answer that question because I have not done it myself. But since you have done it, can you guide them a little bit about what should be the preparation strategy?
Yes, Ashish. So what I would say is first have a very clear knowledge of the syllabi for different examinations. So this is important because it is often different. It is often possible that the syllabi for your school curricula and your entrance examinations are quite different. So first is that. Second is that it is often very helpful to have a question bank right from the beginning of your preparation. And
Previous year? Is it?
Question bank of all previous years at least. And the preparation should start right from the beginning, like probably by your 11th standard or so. So that way you get enough time for your preparation and not everything gets cramped up towards the end. So these question banks would be a way to assess your understanding and your knowledge of all these different concepts. And suppose with your understanding you're able to crack all the questions, then you are knowing it good enough. The other thing that I would say is that there is often examination fear that you have to work on. So when you write a lot of examinations, it helps you do away with this examination fear. And see, examinations are an art to deal with. Often you don't know the first few questions, but probably you know all the remaining ones. So it is very important to deal with examinations in a very well organized and well planned manner. So that you can develop if you write a lot of examinations. So
that means test series, is it? Or actually appearing for real examinations? Are you talking about test series?
Yeah, so this could be in various forms depending on what resources are available to the students. So when I used to attend coaching classes, we used to have examinations at the end of each module of our course. But suppose you do not have access to these, then you could probably organize a timed examination by yourself. So it could be in several different ways. But the point is that the more examinations you write, the more accustomed you become with all these, the better you will be when finally you have to write an exam that would matter to you.
Yeah. So that exam pressure is very difficult to deal with. That I've felt, because exam becomes like one day match. You have to change everything in that day only, right? So nobody is actually going to look at the 1 year or the 2 year of hard work that you have put in. So dealing with that exam pressure, it is to a huge extent a mental game as well, right? So doing more of that will obviously make you better.
Yes, Ashish. And this is one way. If you prepare regularly, if you are very sincere and regular at your work, then this is one way that you can reduce that sensitivity of your performance on the exam day. You can try to become immune to just one day of how you behave on the examination day. So
So if you can also look at it in a simple way of thermodynamics, if the work input is larger, let us say 200 kilojoule in terms instead of 100 kilojoule, then even though the efficiency which is decreased, let us say to 70% because of the examination pressure, you're still going to outwork most of those people who are your competition, right?
Yeah. Wow,
So
Ashish. I'm impressed at that.
little bit of mechanical engineering coming out now. Okay. Would you say that there is any specific strategy? Because I've heard that for IIT JEE examination, you don't really have to cover 100% of the syllabus. Am I correct?
Uh, Ashish, there could be strategies, but really I did not go with any
What was
such.
your strategy? What was your strategy? Did you complete 100% of the syllabus, physics, chemistry, maths, 100% done?
At least my intention was to complete as much as I could.
Okay.
And I did not design my preparation to exclude any of the topics. It is possible that finally I could not do everything. But yes, strategy in the way of prioritizing your topics could be a very good strategy. But probably excluding something altogether may not be.
Okay. All right. So I'm not experienced, so I'm not going to comment much. But tell me, after your JEE result, what was your rank after your mains?
So, if I recall it correctly, my JEE mains rank was 600 something. And should I also mention the JEE advanced rank? So that was 4,300.
Okay. I think that would be sufficient for you to get into some IITs also, right?
Correct. I did
Yeah.
have
So-
opportunities at IIST too, IITs too.
Which IITs? IIT Bombay? What branch would you be getting? Or IIT Kharagpur, Kanpur? What branches would you be getting?
So, Ashish, my way of choosing a course or an IIT was probably a bit different from what other people would prefer. And actually, finally, I chose IIST over all the opportunities that I had available at that time.
Okay.
But I would say that I did have opportunities available in IITs too.
Okay. But why did you make that decision? Explain a little bit.
Yeah. So the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, or IIST, had several attractive things to offer when I was considering of joining it. Even now, it has, I think, all of those things that attracted
And more,
me.
maybe.
Yeah, and
Most
probably
likely more.
So I would mention all those to you. So IIST was, IIST was the first institute in Asia, and the third institute all over the world to be offering dedicated courses in space science and technology. And during my childhood days, I was fascinated by televised coverage of ISRO missions. So aerospace engineering had become a passion in me, and IIST had one of its undergraduate courses in aerospace engineering. Secondly, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was one of my inspirations, happened to be the chancellor of IIST when I was considering to join it. Then there were several other things. This IIST had a provision, and it still has, of giving the opportunity of absorption into the Indian Space Research Organization after you have completed your studies. Furthermore, so it also has provisions like you get a full fees waiver for each semester, depending on your performance in the semester. So that's a big thing.
I think it is even if you are having more than 70%, then you get full fees off, right?
Yeah, I think it
You
is
have to maintain.
75 percentage probably.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, you have a full fee waiver once you qualify this performance criterion. And then
Yeah.
IIST also has collaborations with so many institutes around the world. One collaboration that was very interesting to me at the time of joining IIST was that with Caltech. So
Okay.
there is a fellowship called the Dr. Satish Dhawan Endowed Fellowship, which
Okay.
allows one student from aerospace engineering, and 2 years back it has been extended to the avionics
Yeah.
stream also, to pursue their Master of Sciences in their respective fields at California Institute of Technology, which
Yeah.
is a pioneer in aerospace engineering.
Okay. So, is it safe to say that you were very interested in rocket science when you were in 12th standard?
Yes, Ashish, I would say
Yeah.
no doubt.
Okay. So, what as a 18-year-old person, what attracted you towards rocket science? Why do you like rocket science? I want to know.
So, as I mentioned earlier, during my school days, I used to get fascinated a lot by televised coverage of
ISRO.
ISRO missions. Chandrayaan 1 happened in 2008 when I was
Yeah.
probably in 8th standard.
Yeah.
And we had so many events organized, like essay competition, painting competition, that instilled so much enthusiasm and so much curiosity on all these ideas. And the fact that humankind now is not bounded by the limits of Earth is a very fascinating idea. And the many opportunities and applications that you can have out of space is so vast that it is very easy to get enthralled and develop a passion in rocket and space sciences.
I think space science is the only domain that is infinite. Maybe every other domain is infinite, but probably this is definitely infinite because
This
we
is
do
like
not know
literally infinite.
Yeah, there's an infinite playground. The moment that they launched Sputnik, no, from that moment itself, it is said that the playground became infinite, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was. I think if now after listening to you, IIT was never an option for you. I think you were always preparing for IIST only when you were in your 11th and 12th standard, preparing for those IIT JEE examination.
Well, I would say that even IITs offer aerospace and aeronautical engineering.
Yes.
So they were not out of my options.
Okay.
But once I came to know about IIST, which was actually after I had written my engineering examinations,
Okay.
I got to know about IIST, and it was quite fascinating to know about it.
Okay. Yeah. So what would you say the aerospace engineering from any IIT? How is it different from aerospace engineering in IIST? Is it the only that there are some ISRO scientists, former ISRO scientists who are taking classes over there at IIST also, and the collaboration with Caltech and all that? Is it something other than that? Is it closer to rocket science?
At IIST, like in aerospace engineering, you get to learn a lot. Actually, if you compare the syllabi of aerospace engineering in IIST with those of IITs, you would find that in IIST, it covers much more.
Okay.
It's not just aerospace engineering, it's probably a superset or to some extent a superset of aerospace and mechanical engineering.
Yeah, definitely.
And as you mentioned earlier, there are several professors in IIST who come from a working background from ISRO,
Yeah.
and then IIST offers you the unique opportunity of getting internships and availing the research facilities in various ISRO centers. And then you have several student rocket programs, rocket and satellite programs.
Like,
So,
for example, what programs are these?
Yeah. So there's one program called Vyom, which was completed several years back, and the next phase of this program is under work. And then there is one called the IIST program. IIST stands for Autonomous Assembly of Reconfigurable Space Telescope,
Okay.
which is a student nanosatellite program, and it is in collaboration with two other universities. One is Caltech, and the other one is University of Surrey in United Kingdom.
Okay.
And then IIST has several more things. It has an advanced space technology development cell, which helps in developing projects for present and future endeavors of different ISRO centers, and also in collaborating with different universities, Indian or foreign universities, for making payloads for nanosatellite missions.
Okay. All right. Avinash, coming to you back again. During your IIST days in 4 years, how hard did you really work to become a topper over there? Because I know that it must not be easy to become a topper over there. What was your daily routine like?
Okay. So I think it is not difficult to become a top.
Don't say that,
If
because
you-
it is.
if you really want to.
See, I'll tell
Because,
you a little bit. I also wanted to become a topper when I was in college. I landed with 3rd rank after working very hard. So it is definitely very difficult. Now you tell me, what
So
did you do?
Ashish, that is still one of the toppers.
No, I'm talking. No,
You are in top 3.
no. Rank 1 and rank 2 are having huge differences between them. Okay.
No.
2 and 3 are
So
close.
I would say we should not create so much of importance on just 1 or 2 ranks, because many a times you would see that these ranks differ by probably a second decimal digit.
No.
Of
Avinash,
course.
I'll tell you what is the difference in that second decimal digit. You went to Caltech and the 2nd rank did not. I'll tell you a little bit more because I've been in BARC training school also. Rank 1 went to BARC Mumbai, rank 2 went to BARC Kalpakkam. So it creates a huge difference. Okay, so I've seen this ranking competition a lot. Now you tell me, how hard did you work?
Okay. So I would say the key to this is very simple, and that is that you work regularly. You work every day at least. You make sure that you understand all the concepts, everything that was discussed on that day in your classroom. I think if you do that, then it serves you many purposes. First is you are very well prepared for understanding the next day's lectures. So that is one advantage. Second is that you don't have to get worried about examinations. And actually at IIST, we used to have surprise examinations just to encourage this practice of regular studies.
Okay.
And other things I think would come by. So suppose you identify that you have not understood a particular thing on that day, then it is very important that you seek help. You approach your professor or your friends who have understood that and clarify all those things well. So academics, I would say, is at least the curriculum for undergraduate, excluding research. I would say is not a very challenging thing to do. You have so many textbooks to go through, so many people around you to help with. So if you are made up, probably it is doable.
Avinash, there's one quality of you that is like oozing out of you. I'll tell you, the way you dress up, the way you talk, you are a very disciplined person. Am I correct? Tell me.
If you say so, I would agree.
Okay, let just answer my question. How much value do you give to time? Are you punctual?
Yes, Ashish. This is one of the most important qualities that we all need to have,
Yeah.
because we have one thing that is not waiting for us, and that is time.
Yeah.
It is ticking for all of us, be it you or me or someone else.
Yeah.
So, being punctual is one of the
Yeah.
greatest qualities that I am developing in me.
Is it
And I
the
think I am punctual.
is it the influence of your father, because he has been in Indian Air Force?
Well, actually, you learn punctuality
Uh-huh.
at so many different places. Your teachers tell you to be punctual. Your elders tell you to be punctual. So, I would say
Yeah.
it is from all of them,
Okay.
not particularly from my father.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we are going to move forward. We understood. Okay. Yeah. One more question I want to add. Did you always try to put more emphasis on concept and less emphasis to the marks that you get? Because a lot of toppers, what happens now, I've seen some toppers, what they do is that they emphasize more on marks. But I'm pretty sure that that would not have been case for you, because IST is not just any college where you can mug up and get a lot of marks, right?
Correct.
So what would you say about that? That how much emphasis a person should put towards concept, learning things, understanding things, so that they never ever, I mean, learn something so that you can utilize it for the rest of your life in that manner.
Yeah. So, Ashish, you have asked a very important question, whether to give importance to marks or concepts. But I think
Yeah.
one would follow the other. So, at IIST, as well as at wherever I went, be it Caltech, IIST, or even now, I have given the first importance to concepts. I have worked the best I can to try to clarify my concepts, my basics, my fundamentals. And once you have a very clear conceptual understanding, very clear fundamentals, it is very easy to score marks.
Yeah.
But that said, it is possible that on examination day, a lot of different factors can act and your marks can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, it is important not to be so much attached or give so much importance to marks,
Okay.
and just have the will, have the understanding that you can always improve and strive to just keep improving.
Okay. All right. So that was very important to clarify over here, because most people get confused over there only, because a lot of people try to run after the trophies, no? Because let us say some person gets into IST and then he or she thinks that I want to get to Caltech, so I want to become the topper. And that person should know that concept is always placed above your marks. Marks will follow, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, before ending your IST journey, your third year internship was in JPL, right? Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So please explain a little bit about that.
So, Ashish, as I had mentioned, IIST has some very unique opportunities to offer to its students.
Yeah.
And this opportunity for internship at JPL after the third year during summertime is one of them. So, JPL, or Jet Propulsion Laboratory, as you might know,
Yeah.
is managed by Caltech for NASA, and it is a pioneer in space mission design, robotics and robotic exploration of space, earth sciences, and so on. So it was a 2-month long internship, and during this internship, so one student from each branch at IIST, there are 3 branches.
Yeah.
One is aerospace engineering, one is electronics and communications engineering with specialization in avionics, and one is engineering physics. So one student from each branch gets an opportunity to do this internship.
Okay.
Now, in my internship, I worked on design, manufacturing, and proof of concept testing of a device called the Nikola Tesla check valve.
Okay.
Now, this check valve is very interesting because it acts as a check valve. So before that, let me tell what a check valve is. A check valve is a device which allows flow in one direction while it does not allow flow in the opposite direction. So this is a very special check valve in that it does not have any moving part.
Okay.
Just by its shape, it is able to provide a lot of impedance or a lot of resistance to flow when the flow is trying to flow in the direction in which it is not intended to flow.
Okay.
And producing very less resistance to flow in the direction where it is intended to allow the flow.
Yeah.
So because it does not have any moving parts, it has a lot of scope in space applications.
Yeah, higher life.
And
Life will become higher because there's no moving part, no wear and tear, right?
correct. In space applications, reliability is one major requirement.
Less parts, more reliable.
The less.
Yeah.
Correct. And recently I've also heard that this device has been put to biomedical uses too.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know, because when you talk about valve, I think about rocket science. I'm thinking about putting the fuel in before the launch. But where is this actually applied? It is not a part of rocket?
So there are some characteristics of this valve that become important. So one is that it is a leaky check valve.
Okay.
So you only reduce the flow in the direction in which it is not intended to be, but you don't reduce it completely to zero, because it does so. It acts as a valve just by producing so much of impedance. So that, which would mean that you could still have some amount of flow.
Okay.
Although that flow would be very less.
Yeah.
So I'm not aware if currently it has been put to use, but it could be put to use in space applications where such limitation is acceptable.
Okay.
And on biomedical applications, I have recently come across one application in eye surgeries.
Okay.
Where I think the disease is called glaucoma.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about it. So I won't say more on that.
Yeah. Okay. So how was, okay, we are going to get to what was JPL like a little bit later, because you are going to get over there again, right? When was it? In Caltech, after your masters in science and space engineering, right? So
yeah, correct. I was fortunate to get internship at JPL twice.
Yeah. Okay. So IIST ends, you are the topper, you immediately go to Caltech, right? For your master's course.
Right.
So is there a coursework? It is a 1-year program. So what is it like? What is the structure of that program?
So the program is called the Master of Science in Space Engineering. And before that, I think I mentioned about my department. The GALCET is very important. This GALCET, or Graduate Aerospace Laboratories of California Institute of Technology, has a very interesting history. So it was founded by Theodore von Karman, who has, to his credit, several key advances in aerospace engineering. The Indian aerospace field, the Indian aerospace industry also has so much of connection with GALCET. The first 3 directors of the National Aerospace Laboratories of India, NAL, were all alumni of GALCET. And Dr. Satish Dhawan, who was the chairman of ISRO, as well as chairman of the Indian Institute of Science, also was an alumnus of GALCET. And the fellowship that I went on was named after him. It was called the Dr. Satish Dhawan Endowed Fellowship. So, coming to the course structure, our course at Caltech was structured on a quarter basis. So, in India, we have a semester system where you have one semester of maybe 5 months long. At Caltech, we had a quarter system where one semester is like 3 months long. You have like fall semester, winter, and then spring semester. So my course was three quarters long, and each quarter, I had courses in fluid mechanics, mechanics of structures and solids, mathematics, aerospace engineering, and then I had electives like space engineering, aerospace engineering, space propulsion, and experimental methods. So Caltech has the emphasis on research on fundamental topics, fundamental aspects, and one of the keys to Caltech's growth and impact is the very wide interdisciplinary collaboration that you see at Caltech. So it is very easy to see economists collaborate with biologists. So if you have heard of neuroeconomics, and then
not heard of it.
Those are some of the best things to observe at Caltech.
All right. Okay. So was there any difference in the type of education that we have over here in India, let us say in IIST, and the kind of education they are having over there at Caltech? What was the major prime difference?
Okay. At Caltech, I would say the lectures were very much pedagogical, very clear, very much organized. Then there were teaching assistants, but of course we have those at colleges and in India too. One stark difference that was easily observable was the system of take-home examinations.
Okay.
Of course, at IIST also, some professors have begun assigning examinations to be taken at home. So there is an honor code in Caltech which allows professors to assign examinations to be taken home by students. Students time themselves for the examinations and make sure that they follow all the rules for the examinations, and that gives a lot of flexibility in organizing examinations, taking examinations, and so on. Apart from that, I think the research facilities, research laboratories at
much more
Caltech they are state-of-the-art facilities. So in Calcit, there were state-of-the-art facilities for fluid mechanics, structures, as well as propulsion. And apart from that, apart from the regular studies, there were a lot of seminars, colloquiums organized by all different departments of Caltech, where speakers from different universities or Caltech itself or other industries used to come and share the research and their work. So it was a very enriching experience at Caltech.
Their high focus on learning. See, this take-home examination and all, no, they are doing it in ISC also when people are going there for MTech. So, and open book examination we even saw in BIRC training school. That is like basically if you are actually doing something or solving a problem in real life situation, it is not like you are not going to be using books or data. Obviously, you are going to be. So that is more practical in that sense, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, Avinash, tell us a little bit about your internship that you started after your Caltech course. So what was it like? It was 2.5 months, right? 10 weeks.
Yes, Ashish. So there was an internship at JPL, but now that I was a graduate student with a master's degree.
Yeah.
So there was an internship at Caltech for 10 weeks after my master's program. And during this internship, I got the opportunity to work on conceptual design of a device called the propellant acquisition system or propellant acquisition device or propellant management device, which are placed in propellant tanks. So what happens is that when your satellite or when your spacecraft is in microgravity environment,
Yeah.
there should be a device that ensures that there is enough amount of propellant available towards the entry of the propellant lines that go out of the propellant tanks,
Yeah.
so that when you start the thruster, there is liquid that enters there and not the alleged gas. So this device uses surface tension properties of the propellant liquid to ensure that there is enough of it available towards the exit of the tank.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
let me-
also say,
Yeah, just one moment. Let us explain it in a way that even 8th standard students can understand. All right, because they might be watching. So when you are when you are on your vehicle, let us say in your car, no, then gravity is helping the fuel to get to the ignition point where the ignition is going to take place. But when you are in space, no, everything is floating. Everyone must have seen that in space everything floats. That is basically because you are in a free fall condition, right? So to bring the fuel to the point in which ignition is going to take place is very difficult. And what he's saying about surface tension, it is basically like a sponge. Yes, Avinash, it is like a sponge, and it is going to accumulate the fuel and send it to the place where it is required. Am I correct?
correct. So sponge is just one of the devices. There are
other also.
devices available for use, and often you end up designing with a combination of these devices. So sponge, I would say, is similar to screen. So a screen would usually be placed at the exit of the tank. So that would be the final barrier to your alleged gas bubbles. But above that, you may have a device called trap, which is a small cylindrical device, again with screens at its periphery, which would ensure that so much of liquid is always there in that device.
Okay.
And then the design of such a device varies depending on the complexity of your mission. So for example, if your mission says that you can have acceleration in any direction, say in the axial direction to the propellant tank or the transverse direction, then you have to make sure. So suppose I give an example. If it is imposed as a mission constraint that the acceleration would always be in the direction that would settle the propellant towards the exit, then it would be a very simple design.
Yeah.
Because the acceleration itself would do the remaining job. So you just have to design for the initial firing. But suppose your mission requires that you can accelerate in any direction.
Yeah.
So if you accelerate in, say, the transverse direction, then the propellant will settle towards the transverse side, which may not be towards the exit. So in that case, you will require some arms which would carry propellant from the propellant tank walls and bring it towards the exit. So depending on the situation, you have a lot of different devices. And the devices that I am talking about work on surface tension. There are other types of devices, for example, a bladder. But those involve moving parts. So often the surface tension devices or the propellant acquisition devices are more preferred because of this characteristic of not having any moving part.
Yeah. Okay. So you were explaining a little bit about your project. So what did you actually do? You can continue from there.
Yeah. Actually, with this question, I have conceptually explained most of it. But I just wanted to remark that apart from this project work itself, there were a lot of other activities that I had the opportunity to engage with during my internship. So during internship at JPL, there were seminars organized for the internees, and then there were laboratory visits. So we were given visits to different laboratories of JPL, and there were social events too, which are actually very important because they provide you the opportunity to engage with other internees and develop network and social relations.
Do you believe in long-term goals, or you just want to live in the moment and do your best?
No, I think we should have a long-term perspective, and as well as short-term goals, which would help you fulfill the longer vision and the longer perspective, and also help you see, help you assess if you're on the right track. So I think long-term goals is surely something that
Okay.
I believe in.
Okay, Avinash, it is perfectly fine if you choose not to share over here, but would you like to share your long-term plan?
Well, yes, Ashish. So right now I'm working in a place where there is so much to learn and understand, and I'm just so new to this field. So I think long term, or I would say in a few years, I would definitely try to gain expertise, at least in understanding, and at least whatever my colleagues know about all these different systems. After that, in India right now, there are so many opportunities, and India is changing really fast for good. So it is also very important to keep abreast of all the happenings around you and to respond in a very healthy fashion to all these changes that are happening.
Okay. So your idea would be to learn as much as possible. And in 5-6 years, you'll start to develop expertise in a particular domain. Don't you think?
Yeah.
You will get specialized in a particular area. Okay. And other than that, who do you look up to? You have talked about that, yes, APJ Abdul Kalam was an inspiration for you. Are there others who you look up to in the space domain? Not India, completely throughout the world, who have made wonders in the space domain. Are there some people like that?
So yes, Ashish, actually right now the space industry all over the world is a very fascinating industry. Very new things are happening almost very constantly. So now you have private players in space, and they have done so much that no one could have ever imagined a few years back.
Yeah.
So of course there are such personalities that I admire, and I would like to do something that would have such an impact and bring positive change in India and as well as the world. And right now, it is very important that our perspective not just be shaped around India, but with the entire globe.
Globally.
Because if you see, business right now is a very powerful, is the power. So if you want to have global outreach, you want to have you want to be immune to say developments in one particular region, you should have market as well as participation in everywhere, at least around the globe.
Okay, Avinash, we are going to end this podcast with a very simple question, something that intrigues all of the space enthusiasts. I've always been a part of that, being fascinated about rocket science, being fascinated about space technology. There are questions that I ask to myself. I just want to know your opinion. Do you ever look up into the stars and wonder that is there any life or how far we can go? What do you think about space technology? What are your thoughts? I want to open that.
Yeah. So, yes, I get fascinated looking up in the sky at night, and of course there is a very long way to go. So, on the level of Earth itself, just around the Earth, you have so much untapped potential of space applications that can be used.
Yeah.
And then you have space exploration, where there is so much of opportunity to go beyond, look for different matters of interest to science, and enable the technologies capable of doing that. Then, of course, there are these ideas that since I would say, I would quote here Tsiolkovsky, who was one of the fathers of our aerospace engineering, who said that. Okay, sorry, I'm not sure if I know the speaker right, but the saying is that Earth is the cradle for humankind, but humans cannot be in the cradle for all life long. So, of course, humans, if they have to survive for the coming ages without the uncertainty of some celestial mishap happening, going out of Earth is also one of the major ideas that we should consider.
Okay, Avinash, no better way to end this podcast. I'm extremely grateful. I'm not only saying it to say this to you, but I'm really very thankful that you actually came over here, explained. More importantly, that yes, students and people and aspirants who are watching this are going to be helped. But I personally wanted to open up your brain and understand what goes on in there. Because obviously we have talked during our training program, but never talked in the details that we have talked over here. So thanks for explaining. And hopefully you will come again some other day, talk about some different matters. And that's about it. I'm pretty sure that everyone who watched this is going to be helped, and it is going to influence their lives.
Yeah, Ashish, thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast. It is really a wonderful opportunity for me to share my experiences with you and all the viewers through your podcast. So thank you again. And yes, please let me know if I can be back.
You can certainly be back whenever you are free. I actually talked to you around 20 days ago, but you were a little busy at that time. So I said that I completely understand whenever you're free. So again, I'm saying the same thing, Avinash. Whenever you're free, let me know. We are going to do this again. Okay?
Sure, Ashish.
Okay, Avinash. I'll always clear my schedule for you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Avinash, you can say your parting words. Say bye to the audience. And see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you. See you.
Yeah, Momentum is a weekly podcast. You are going to see us every Sunday. See you next time.